I never thought returning a wallet would lead to her whispering across a candlelit table, "Let me repay you, properly, my place." But 6 months later, I'm sitting in a lawyer's office watching her ex-husband's attorney slide custody papers across the desk, and I realize some debts come with interest you can't afford to pay. It started on a Tuesday in March. I was walking home from another soul-crushing day at the consulting firm when I saw it lying on the sidewalk outside Millennium Park. A leather wallet, expensive-looking, still warm like someone had just dropped it. The leather was butter-soft under my fingertips. Inside was a driver's license, Rebecca Lawson, age 44, with dark hair, sharp cheekbones, green eyes that even in a DMV photo looked like they could see right through you. There were credit cards, cash, and a photo of a teenage girl. I could have kept the cash. God knows I needed it. My apartment radiator clanked and hissed through the night like some dying mechanical beast, and my last relationship had ended 3 months ago when Sarah told me I was emotionally unavailable. But I'm not that guy. So I called the number on her insurance card. She answered on the second ring. "Hello?" Her voice was smooth, cultured, with classical music playing in the background, violins that sounded expensive. "My name is David Chen. I found your wallet on Michigan Avenue." "Oh my God. You found it?" Her voice cracked with relief and I could hear her breathing quicken. "It's all here. Cash, cards, everything. Stay there. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Please don't leave." The wind picked up while I waited, carrying the smell of rain and hot dogs from a nearby cart. When a black Audi pulled up 15 minutes later, its engine purring like a satisfied cat, the woman who stepped out was stunning, dark hair and a low ponytail. Charcoal blazer, moving with easy confidence. She smelled like jasmine and something expensive with a French name. "You're a lifesaver," she said, taking the wallet. Our fingers brushed and I felt this electric jolt. She flipped through it with elegant hands, her rings catching the streetlight. "You really didn't take anything." "I told you I didn't. Most people would have. You're either very honest or very stupid. Probably a little of both," I said. And she laughed, this genuine, delighted sound that made something in my chest tighten. "Let me buy you dinner. As a thank you. There's a place right around the corner." I thought about my empty apartment, the frozen pizza with frost on the box, eating alone with only the clank of the radiator for company. "Okay," I said. "I don't have anywhere else to be." The restaurant was called Atwood. Exposed brick walls, dim amber lighting that made everyone look beautiful, the soft clink of real silverware on real china. Jazz played so quietly, you had to strain to hear it. The hostess greeted her by name. "Miss Lawson." "Your usual table?" We sat in a corner booth with a candle flickering between us, casting moving shadows across her face. The leather seat creaked softly. She ordered wine in perfect French, the words rolling off her tongue like music. The wine arrived dark as blood, smelling like crushed berries and earth and smoke. "I'm a curator at the Museum of Contemporary Art," she said, setting down her glass with a soft clink. "And you?" "Data analyst. Riverton and Associates. Exciting stuff. Lots of spreadsheets." My voice was flat. "You hate it." It wasn't a question. "Yeah, but it pays the bills." Mostly. We talked through appetizers and entrees, her rings catching the candlelight when she gestured. She asked about my family. I told her about my parents, immigrants from Taiwan, both professors, both disappointed their son chose money over academia. She reached across the table and her fingertips brushed my wrist. Warm and light. She told me about her daughter, Lily, 16 and brilliant and angry, currently living with her father. "How long have you been divorced?" 5 years. Best decision I ever made, even if Lily still blames me for it." There was pain underneath her voice. We stayed until the staff started putting chairs on tables, the soft scrape of wood on wood echoing. She insisted on paying, and we walked out into the cool March evening. The city had transformed, the air smelled cold and clean with a hint of lake water. We drove through the city, Jazz playing softly Miles Davis, the trumpet sad and beautiful. Her hand rested on the center console, inches from mine, and I could feel the heat radiating from her skin. The streetlights streamed past us in ribbons of gold and white. She pulled up in front of my building, the engine idling with a soft purr. "This is me." I opened the door and stopped. "Becca, why did you really want dinner with me?" She was quiet for a long moment, her hands on the steering wheel. I could hear her breathing. Because I've spent 5 years being careful, being the good divorced mom who doesn't cause trouble. And then this 20-something guy with kind eyes returns my wallet without asking for anything, and I thought maybe I'm tired of being careful. She turned to look at me and her eyes caught the streetlight, flecked with gold. Is that answer good enough? Yeah, I said, my throat tight. Give me your phone. She typed in her number, her wine-colored nails clicking against the screen. Text me tomorrow. If you want. I want, I said. She smiled and I got out, watching her taillights disappear into the Chicago night, already knowing I was in trouble. I texted her the next morning. She responded within minutes. What are you doing Saturday? Saturday we met at the Art Institute. Our footsteps echoed on the polished floors. She explained paintings like, I was the only person in the world who mattered, her voice low and passionate. In front of a Monet, we stood close enough that our shoulders almost touched. I could smell her perfume jasmine and something floral and feel the warmth radiating from her body. Monet was going blind when he painted these, she said quietly. He was painting what he could feel rather than see. Something desperate about holding onto beauty, even as it slips away. She turned to look at me, and we were suddenly very close. Close enough to kiss. I wanted to. But there were footsteps behind us, a family passing by, and I stepped back. We got coffee afterward. The espresso machine hissed and steamed. She told me about growing up in Michigan, about meeting Michael in grad school. I told her about being the quiet Asian kid good at math. Do you regret it? The job? She stirred sugar into her coffee, the spoon chiming softly. Every day, but I don't know how to get out. She reached across the table and put her hand over mine. Just for a second. Her palm was warm. You're not stuck. You're just scared. There's a difference. Tuesday evening, she invited me to an opening at her museum. The air buzzed with conversation, shoes clicking on polished marble. Crystal glasses chinked. Becca was stunning in a black dress, her hair up, pearl earrings catching the light. She moved through the crowd, her dress rustling softly. Around 10 p.m., we escaped to the roof terrace. The city spread below us. The wind carried the smell of wet earth. Distant traffic hummed like white noise. I hate these things, she said, leaning against the railing. The metal was cold under my hands. Do you ever feel like you're performing? Like you're not actually present? Every day, I said, honestly. We stood in silence. Our hands were on the railing inches apart, and I could feel the almost magnetic pull between us. The wind rushed past. I wanted to close that distance, to kiss her, but I could hear people inside, their laughter muffled through the glass doors. So I kept my hands on the cold metal railing, and the moment passed like smoke. A week later, we met for lunch. The Italian place was cramped and loud, with the smell of garlic and tomatoes. Pots clanged in the kitchen. We sat in a booth so small, our knees kept bumping. You should quit, she said about my job. She put down her fork with a soft clink and took my hand across the table, right there in public. First time she'd really held it. Are you? Or do you have to be perfect because everyone's watching? She pulled back, her breathing quickening. That's different. Because I'm 44. I have a daughter, a career I spent 20 years building, an ex-husband looking for any excuse to prove I'm unfit. Her voice was tight. That sounds exhausting. It is. I'm so tired of being careful. I put my hand over hers. You're enough. More than enough. Her eyes filled with tears. When we left, it was raining. The smell of wet concrete rose up. Rain drummed on the awning. My car's 2 blocks away. We could wait it out. Or we could run for it. So we ran. We sprinted down the sidewalk laughing, our shoes slapping wet pavement. The rain was cold and smelled like ozone. Within seconds, we were soaked. We collapsed into her car, breathless. The windows fogging up. Rain drummed on the roof, like fingers on a drum. We're insane, she said, gasping. The air in the car shifted. The only sound was our breathing and the rain. We leaned toward each other, our faces inches apart. I could see water droplets on her eyelashes. And then her phone rang, the sound shrill and jarring. She jumped back, fumbling. Hello? Yes? What? When? Her face went pale. I'll be right there. She hung up, her hand shaking. That was Lily's school. She fainted. I have to go. I'll take the L. She looked at me with regret swimming in her eyes. I'm sorry. The moment dissolved and she drove away, her taillights blurring in the rain. On a Friday night in May, my phone buzzed at 9 p.m. My bathroom sink is leaking. I know this is a terrible excuse to see you, but can you help? I grabbed my toolkit wrenches and screwdrivers that rattled and headed to her apartment. When she opened the door, she was in yoga pants and a t-shirt. Her hair in a messy bun, no makeup. Her feet were bare on the hardwood. I'm sorry. I know it's late. Water was dripping from the sink with a soft plink plink plink. I got on my knees and she knelt beside me, suddenly pressed together under the sink. Our shoulders touched, and I could feel the warmth of her body. I could smell her shampoo, coconut, and something floral. Her breathing was close to my ear, warm on my neck. Found a wrench, she said softly. Our hands touched and that electric jolt ran up my arm. Can you see? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Barely. Can you shine your phone light? I forced myself to focus on the metal threads, the wrench clicking with each turn. Got it, I said finally. Turn on the water. She stood and I heard the squeak of the faucet, the rush of water. We stood face to face in the small bathroom, close enough that our chests almost touched when we breathed. The mirror was fogged, the air thick and warm. The faucet ran behind us. Thank you, she whispered. We stood there, neither moving. Her eyes were so green, her lips slightly parted. I could hear my heart pounding. David, she whispered. Yeah? We should. The doorbell rang, shattering the moment. We both jumped apart. I ordered Thai food. Do you want to stay? Yeah, I'd like that. We ate on her couch, sitting close but not quite touching. Every time she reached for her wine glass, her arm brushed mine. City sounds drifted through the window, distant sirens, car horns. Can I ask you something? Are you seeing anyone? No. Are you? No. Michael keeps setting me up with divorced lawyers in their 50s. They talk about golf. She made a face. It's torture. He says, I'm wasting my youth. She laughed bitterly. As if I have any left. You're not old. David, I'm 44. You should be with someone your age. Someone who doesn't have stretch marks and crow's feet and arthritis. Someone who doesn't lie awake wondering if she's too old to be attractive, too old to take risks. Becca. She stood abruptly. The dishes clattered. I should clean up. I followed her to the kitchen. She was at the sink, her shoulders tense, hands shaking as she rinsed plates. The sound of water hitting ceramic filled the silence. Becca. David. I don't want the girl with the nose ring. I don't want someone my age. I want you. She turned slowly, suds dripping from her fingers, drip, drip, drip. She leaned back against the counter, gripping the edge. This is a bad idea, she whispered. Probably. People are going to talk. Let them talk. I crossed the kitchen. The refrigerator hummed behind us. I don't care about any of that. I care about you. The way you see the world. The way you make me want to be better. The way I feel like I'm actually present for the first time. We barely know each other. I know you left a marriage that was killing you. I know your favorite painting is the Monet because it's about holding on to beauty when everything's falling apart. I know you take your coffee with too much sugar and you sing along to jazz when you think no one's listening. Her eyes were shining with tears. How do you know I sing? You were humming in the car that first night. Miles Davis? So, why do I want to kiss you so badly? Because you're tired of being careful. Because you deserve to be happy. She looked at me for a long moment. Her breathing changed. It was desperate and hungry, her hands fisting in my shirt, pulling me closer, my hands in her hair, knocking pins loose that clattered to the floor. She made this small sound that sent electricity down my spine. We kissed until we couldn't breathe. When we finally pulled apart, we were both shaking, foreheads pressed together, breathing hard. Wow, she breathed. We didn't make it to the bedroom. For 2 months, we kept it quiet. We saw each other constantly, the rustle of paper bags, the smell of takeout. We talked until 2 a.m., our voices low. We had inside jokes and a whole secret world, but cracks started to show. One night, we risked a restaurant in the suburbs. We were holding hands across the table when the waiter appeared. Are you dining with your son this evening, ma'am? The words hit like cold water. Becca's face went white. Her hand jerked away from mine. He's not my son, she said. Her voice strangled. The waiter scurried away, and Becca excused herself. She came back, 20 minutes later, with red eyes. In the car, she was silent, staring out as streetlights strobed across her face. "Talk to me," I said. "I'm thinking that waiter saw us and thought mother and son. I'm aging every day. And you're going to stay young and eventually wonder what you're doing? Stop." I pulled over, flashers clicking. "Look at me." She turned, tears streaming, catching the dashboard lights. "I don't care about your age. I care about you. Right now. Not some hypothetical future you. You say that now. But in 5 years, I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. All we have is now. And right now, I love you." The words hung in the air. First time either of us had said it. The heater hummed. Her eyes went wide. "You love me?" "Yeah, I do." "You're insane." "Probably." She laughed through tears. "I love you too, even though this is a disaster waiting to happen." The disaster came on a Saturday in June. I'd stayed over Friday night. Lily was supposed to be at camp until Sunday. We were in the kitchen making breakfast, me in my boxers, her in my shirt, sunlight streaming through the windows, coffee percolated. I was humming along to the jazz, then I heard a key scraping in the lock, the metallic click of tumblers. We both froze. The coffee pot gurgled. The door opened and Lily walked in, dragging a suitcase that bumped over the threshold. Camp was canceled. The arts funding got cut, and she stopped, stared. The coffee pot beeped, absurdly loud. "What the fuck?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "Lily, sweetie." Becca stepped forward. "Don't. What is this? Who is he?" "I'm David," I said. "I don't care who you are. How old are you?" 29? "Oh my God." She looked at Becca with disgust. "He's 29? This is disgusting. People are going to say terrible things. Of course I care, then end it. Choose me." "Lily, it's not like that. I love him." The words dropped like a bomb. The refrigerator hummed. Lily's face crumpled. "You love him? You love him more than me?" Her voice broke, tears streaming. "That's not what I said. Yes, it is. You're choosing him. Just like you chose yourself when you left Dad." She was sobbing now. "I hate you. I hate both of you." She grabbed her suitcase, wheels squeaking, and ran. The door slammed so hard the walls shook. Then silence. Just the jazz playing and the coffee pot beeping. Becca stood frozen, tears streaming. Then she turned to me. "You should go," she whispered. "Becca, please. Just go. I need to call Michael. Let me help." "You can't help! You being here makes it worse. This is a disaster. Don't do this. Lily is my daughter. She comes first." Her hands were shaking. "Please just go." I got dressed in silence. The zipper sounded too loud, and I could hear her on the phone, her voice high and desperate. "Michael, please, can you talk to her?" The door closed and I stood in the hallway, listening to her crying those same devastating sobs from that first night. Only this time, I was the reason. 2 days later, Becca called me at 11 p.m., crying so hard I could barely understand her. I could hear her gasping between words. "Michael's taking me to court. Full custody. He says I created an unstable home. He says Lily doesn't feel safe. He says I'm prioritizing you over my daughter." Her voice broke. "That's bullshit." "Is it? Michael has texts from Lily saying she doesn't want to live with me, saying she couldn't finish, saying I'm pathetic." "You're not pathetic. I feel like I've ruined everything." She took a shaky breath. "David, I think we need to stop this, at least until things settle." My stomach dropped. "Are you breaking up with me?" "I'm asking for space, time to fix things. By pretending I don't exist? By being a mother?" She's 16 and her world is falling apart and she needs me stable, not distracted by a relationship everyone thinks is inappropriate. "So you're choosing her over me. She's my daughter." "It's not the same thing. If you loved me, you'd fight for us." "I'm not terrified. I'm being responsible. You're being a coward." Long silence. Just breathing. The crackle of the line. When she spoke, her voice was cold. "Maybe I am. Maybe that's what being a parent means." "Becca, I have to go. I'll call when things are better. And if they don't get better?" Silence. "Then I guess we both know what that means." She hung up. The dial tone buzzed, harsh and final. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks where I threw myself into work, staying late until the cleaning crew came through. 3 weeks where I checked my phone obsessively, hoping for a text that never came. Brad dragged me to a bar. The place was packed, music thumping. She wants you to prove you won't give up. Look, man, I thought this was insane, but I've never seen you as happy as you were with her. So either you love her enough to wade through the complications, or you don't. But sitting here drinking alone isn't a strategy. He was right. I hated that he was right. The next morning, hands shaking, I called Lily. She didn't answer, so I left a voicemail. Hi, Lily. It's David. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need to say something. I love your mom. I know the age gap is weird, but I love her. And I'm not trying to replace your dad. I'm just a guy who fell in love with your mother. My voice cracked. And I think she needs both of us, right now. She spent 5 years trying to be perfect for everyone and she's exhausted. Maybe she deserves to be happy too, even if it's complicated. So I'm asking, please talk to her, because she loves you more than anything and it's killing her. I hung up and immediately felt like an idiot. 2 hours later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Don't hang up. Lily's voice, young and tight. I won't. I listened to your voicemail. My therapist made me. I could hear traffic. You're seeing a therapist? Yeah. Because apparently I have abandonment issues and I'm taking them out on you and mom. She says I'm scared of losing my mom, so I'm pushing her away. Which is whatever. For what it's worth, you're not losing her. How do you know? Because I've seen the way she talks about you. The way her face lights up when you call. You could hate her forever, and she would never stop loving you. Long silence. Do you really love her? Yeah, I do. Why? Because she sees art the way most people see religion. Because she cries during Pixar movies and pretends she's not. Because when I'm with her, I want to be better. She makes me feel like I matter. Lily was quiet. She's been crying every night. Since I left. My dad told me. I've been staying at his place, and he says she calls him at like 2 a.m. just to ask if I'm okay. He said he's never heard her like this. Not even during the divorce. Something twisted in my chest. That detail, her calling Michael at 2 a.m., desperate to know if Lily was okay, made it real. Made it clear that this had been going on for weeks, not just the day Lily left. I know. I'm worried too. This is so fucked up. You're 29. She's 44. People are going to say terrible things? I know. And if you leave her after this, after everything, it's going to destroy her. And I'll never forgive you. I'm not going to leave her. How can you promise that? Her voice was small now, young. Not everyone, I said quietly. Not if you find someone worth staying for. Long silence. A car horn blared. I'm not saying I'm okay with this. I'm not saying I like you or trust you. She took a breath. But my mom deserves to be happy. Even if her idea of happy is you. Her voice hardened. I'm not doing this for you. Looking at you still makes me want to puke. But watching her cry every night, watching my dad worry about her, that's worse. So if you hurt her after this, I will destroy you. Are we clear? Crystal clear. Good. She hung up. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and headed for Becca's apartment. It was 3 a.m. when I knocked on her door. The hallway was silent except for the hum of the ventilation. I could hear my own breathing, ragged and too loud. She opened the door in pajamas, her hair a mess, her eyes red and swollen. She looked exhausted and beautiful. David? Her voice was hoarse, raw. What are you? I love you, I said. The words came out in a rush. I know it's complicated. I know Lily's struggling and Michael's an asshole. I know you're scared. I know all of it. I stepped closer. But I've spent 3 weeks miserable without you. I know I don't want to be with anyone else. And I know, look, I talked to Lily today. Her eyes went wide, her hand flying to her mouth. You what? I called her. We talked. And she's not okay with us? Not really. But she's willing to try. For you. Because she loves you. Tears started streaming down Becca's face. She said that? Not in those words. But yeah, I took her hands in mine, her fingers cold and trembling. So I'm here, asking for another chance. I'm not asking you to choose between me and Lily. Look, I'm asking to be part of your life. Complications and all. I'm not leaving, I'm staying. Whether you want me to or not. She laughed through her tears. You're the most stubborn person I've ever met. Takes one to know one. She pulled me inside and kissed me hard and desperate and full of everything we'd held back for 3 weeks. We stood in her doorway, holding each other like drowning people, and I knew this was just the beginning. The hard part was still ahead. But we were going to face it together. The custody hearing was 3 months ago. Michael's lawyer presented text messages, witnesses. Becca's lawyer fought back with evidence of Michael's neglect. Lily testified that she loved both parents, wanted to live with her mother. The judge ruled in Becca's favor but warned about stable home environment. It was barely a victory. Now it's September and things are different. Not perfect, but different. Lily speaks to me now. Short conversations. Awkward dinners where forks clink too loud. Last week she asked me to help with statistics homework. I hate this shit, she said, shoving her textbook across the table. Can you explain probability? We worked for an hour. The scratch of pencil on paper. Thanks, she said grudgingly. I guess you're not completely useless. High praise. Don't let it go to your head. But she smiled when she said it, and I counted it as a win. Becca's colleagues know about us now. Some are supportive. Others whisper. One coworker asked loudly at an event, "Is this your pool boy, Becca?" She kept her voice steady. "This is David Chen, my partner." Later, she kissed me in the gallery. "Thank you for standing up for us. My parents are struggling. Over dim sum." My mother's chopsticks stopped halfway to her mouth. The clatter of dishes seemed too loud. 44, she repeated, with a teenage daughter. Yes, David, you're 29. You should be with someone who can give you children. In 20 years, I'll hopefully still be with someone I love. Isn't that what matters? She looked at me with hard eyes and I didn't have a good answer. The truth is, we haven't figured it out. It hangs between us, this question of kids and future. Last night, lying in bed after Lily had gone to sleep, the apartment quiet except for distant traffic and the tick of the radiator, Becca brought it up. Do you ever regret it? She asked quietly. Regret what? This. Us. All the complications. Never. You might. Someday. I haven't given up anything. I've gained everything. But even as I said it, I felt the lie in my throat, because I had given up things. You've gained a girlfriend with baggage, a teenager who barely tolerates you, an ex who wants to destroy us. I've gained you, I said. That's not nothing. What if you want kids? Real kids? Then we'll figure it out. Or look, maybe having you is enough. But was it? Would it be? You shouldn't have to choose. But I do. We all choose who to love. And I choose you. Every time. She rolled over, the sheets rustling, tears shining in her eyes. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do. How do you know? Because I see you. All of you. And I love all of it. I kissed her forehead. We're going to be okay. She pressed closer, her head on my chest. Through the window I could hear the city sirens. Music. The L train. Life continuing while we held on to each other. And I wondered if love was always like this, choosing someone over and over, even when you weren't sure, even when you were scared. I returned a wallet to a stranger 6 months ago, and she offered to repay me. I didn't know then that the price would be this high, that loving her would mean standing in lawyers' offices and family dinners, defending our right to be together, that it would mean watching her cry, questioning everything I thought I wanted, that it would mean lying awake wondering if I was making the biggest mistake or the bravest choice. But I also didn't know it would mean waking up next to someone who makes me want to be better. Coming home to a kitchen where Lily grudgingly asks for help while Becca cooks dinner, humming along to jazz, the smell of garlic and wine filling the air. Building something real in a world that wants everything simple. Love doesn't care about your plans or what makes sense. It doesn't care that she's 44 and I'm 29, that her ex hates me or her daughter barely tolerates me. It doesn't care that I lie awake terrified sometimes. Love just asks, are you brave enough to stay when staying is hard? Can you hold on to something beautiful even when you're not sure? I found a wallet. She said, let me repay you. And I'm still here? Learning that some debts are meant to be carried together, one day at a time, until the weight becomes bearable, until it becomes worth it. We're not perfect. Lily still doesn't call me by name. My mother still sends articles about age-appropriate dating. Michael still looks for excuses to drag us back to court. We still don't know what we're doing about kids. But we're here. We're choosing each other. Building something imperfect and complicated and real. Something that might break, that might not last, that might be the biggest mistake of my life. And somehow, terrifyingly, hopefully, that's enough. Love doesn't arrive with answers. It arrives with questions. Will you stay? Will you fight? Will you choose me? Even when it costs you? Even when you're scared? And every day, despite my doubts, despite my fears, despite everything, we answer.